Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to episode 2, part 2 of mental health struggles in a relationship. I just quickly want to say again, thank you so much for everyone that has been reaching out to me with their feedback, with their thoughts, with how they feel when they're watching this, and whether they like it or not. I appreciate you, I hear you, and I would love to keep hearing from you. And if anyone else has something to add on to what we have discussed on this episode, or if anyone else has thoughts they would like to discuss or contribute to the episodes themselves, feel free to leave me a message. My Instagram, my details, or everything is linked down in the description below all the time, and it pops up throughout the videos. So feel free to reach out anytime, and I'd be so happy to hear from you. It's crazy how many different people have responded to these episodes where I thought that they won't be doing so well because I really put this out as a more personal thing more than a means to get views or anything as such, but to see it performing so well with people and people actually interacting with these videos is amazing. I really hope that you guys will enjoy the next episode and this episode much more. Last but not least, because this was all shot on Zoom, this half of the video, since we were, I guess, filming for over an hour at this point, the quality got a little worse. The sound, the visual quality got a little worse. I tried to save it as much as I could, but there were some points where I couldn't, so bear with me. And yeah, that's basically it. So without further ado, enjoy the video.
Do you guys ever feel like you have the need to talk to someone else? Like you're dealing with something and you just don't want to talk to Sydney because she won't understand, because you talk to her too much and you just need a fresh mind to see the issue and like a fresh mind to talk to. Do you guys ever feel like that?
Earlier this year, actually last year already, I didn't have that mindset yet, but Sydney persuaded me to start seeing a therapist. Mm-hmm. He wasn't the best, but yeah, Carlos. I loved talking to him, but once again, the same problem with I want solutions instead of just talking. Like with Sydney, I like to talk about just what's going on in my head, but when it's like a professional, I'd rather have them just say, you have to do this, mm-hmm. do that, and then you will be doing good. Or whatever, Yeah, and overall this year I've been really struggling with my mental health. School's been really hard because of my problems.
You can talk about those.
If you want anything that you want to say right now and just don't want me to put on YouTube.
I'll say it, I don't care.
I'm proud of you.
I'm not scared of it, but
you got this.
This year I took a psychological evaluation, which tells you what's wrong with you, basically.
I've done that.
And my psychologist said that I have EFD, which is executive function deficit, which is like, I call it the lower level ADHD. Mm-hmm. And that really explains why school is the way it is. I mean, you remember we used to have class together. I used to do anything.
I don't want to say anything, but I think all of us have ADHD to some scale.
Yeah.
When you said that you have this lower level of ADHD, in my head I started going that makes sense. I see where it's coming from. I'm not saying this as a negative way, that I don't judge, it's normal, I just see where it's coming from. Sure you want me to keep it in the video? Okay. So if I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna evaluate it a little more and just say, do you think that condition affects your relationship somehow? Do you think that sort of condition reflects on Sydney somehow sometimes?
Yeah, especially with school, because she worries about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing good in school, so
I think majority of us are.
I'm not gonna go to school and succeed, because I'm not proving myself, but I just need help. And this year I'm focusing on people that can help me. Yeah. Things that could help me. It's really hard, especially through online learning. I'm such a student that has to have one-on-one time with the professor or the teacher or whatever. And now, if I ask for one-on-one time, I don't think I would get it. They'd be like, I don't really have any time for that. You could email me and that's fine, but emailing doesn't do anything.
I know that because being in class with you for quite a while, that's one thing that would piss me off about you a lot. Because I know you were like one of those like visual learners, like realistic learners. You needed everything to be explained to you in that. Whereas me, I prefer the theory knowledge, the like short, like, you know, something from the book or worksheet or something. And whenever they were given they gave us a choice, generally I was ruled out because I was like me, maybe one more person who would feel the same way, and that would be you, who would suggest the idea, and the teacher would be like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna interact with you, I'm gonna do it. And in my head, I'm like, God damn it, I'm not gonna do anything in this class. Why am I even here? You and David were like two classmates that I used to really get pissed at, but I'd be like, okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're just gonna go through it.
I was mostly doing that to waste time, but
it was wasting my time. But then I was like, it's either me or him. So I was like, okay, I'll just deal with it at home. Because in that time, I'm a complete opposite person. Whenever we would do that, I'd be sitting there clueless. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand anything. So now it's like the whole conversation shifted towards Chris. I'm gonna try to shift it towards Sydney because she's been quiet for a while. You motivated Chris to go to therapy. So and Chris clearly expressed that therapy is something that's not for him, right? Is what I understood from what you were saying.
No, I want to do therapy. It's just the therapist I was going to. I told him that I wanted more solutions, and he didn't do anything. He didn't change the way he was doing therapy, which wasn't really for me.
I get that because I had 5 therapists up until now, and only one that was decent. But Sydney's back, so I'm gonna go torture her now. What are your opinions on therapy? Because since you were the one who motivated Chris to go, what signs did you get from Chris? What made you think that because I guess eventually if you said you have to get a therapist involved, I guess inside you felt like you couldn't help out from this point on anymore? Like this was just not your place to help. Am I following the right direction or not really?
Yeah.
Stop me if I'm saying something wrong, but I'm assuming that you felt like this is the most you can do and now he needs a professional to help him out and you can't do it. But what got you to that point where you thought that you can do it, and what made you take the decision of having this talk with him about a therapist?
Are you comfortable with me sharing that?
Yeah,
okay.
I already shared enough.
Okay. So basically, Chris he was failing his classes last spring. There was something I could always tell that was off. He just couldn't remember to do it. He didn't think to do it. His brain didn't work like that. And I would always be like, just write it down, make a calendar, something like that, remember somehow. To me, it didn't really make sense because obviously I have my own issues, but they're different than his. And that was when it started to set in that maybe he does have some executive functioning issues. And I thought it was just ADD or something like that. But I started to realize that may have been what it was. And my younger brother went through the same thing. He had been in therapy since early elementary school. He'd been on meds. He had to work really hard to get C's and B's. And that's still what he's doing. He's doing great. He's going off to college soon. And I saw what therapy and medicine and all of that was able to do for him. So I figured that that'd be something that Chris would need to do, because I remember my mom trying to help my brother, and it was so bad for her too. And selfishly, I kind of had to make the decision to tell him to go get help for me as much as it was for him, because I don't have all the solutions. And all I was really doing at that point was emailing his professors and doing his homework. When I had my own homework and my own things to deal with, I was still working. I couldn't take on 2 people's course loads. And that's not going to help him if, God forbid, we ever break up, or if something happens to me, who's going to do his homework? I can't just carry him through life. I can't carry him through everything. He has to be able to do it himself. And that's what I want him to do for me too. At the beginning of our relationship, I was in therapy, and my therapist has a lot of health issues, and that led to her having to cancel a lot or postpone. And after she canceled last, she never called back to reschedule. So I just kind of let it go. And my plan is to carry myself through this next month. I'm about 2 months therapy free, and then once I'm settled into my new place, find a therapist who I can see in person near me. But yeah.
I am like, just my mind blew when you said that you were taking up his work, because I love how much I can relate to this, either because I have just had the most like experiences, or because we've had similar ones. But the fact that you even did the work and still managed to keep your relationship healthy, like, blows my mind, because I'm like, how can someone do that in a healthy way? Like,
I basically told him, I'm going to do this for you one time. After this, you're getting your shit together. I am not helping you like this again. Like, it was like emergency mode. Like, it was the last month of school. Chris was failing every single course, and we needed to save at least a couple so he could get credit.
It's last year, right? Spring.
Yeah, this was last spring.
Yeah,
and
I got B's.
Yeah, I was able to pull a couple B's for him. I took his history test for him. What else did I type up? I think I typed up one of your papers.
I typed my history papers, and you checked them.
Oh, yeah, and I would read him the answers from the book. I'd tell him how to word what he was typing, and it was like, this sucks, and this is about to put such a strain on our relationship. But at the same time, I love you enough to keep you from completely and totally wasting your time. And then after that, I, instead of helping clean up his mess, tried to help him come up with ways to avoid the mess. So, like, we would go work on our homework at Panera or something, because he has a hard time focusing at home. And that worked for him, even though he said like a million times, I can't work in public. And I'm like, yeah, okay, come on, let's go. And then he would actually focus and get homework done. And I have his login for Blackboard, so he can't lie to me about his grades anymore. Because he used to be like, yeah, I'm doing fine. And I'd be like, okay, good. And then suddenly, last spring, yeah, I have like a 40%. So now he just doesn't lie to me because he knows that I can go in and check whatever the fuck I want to.
Yeah.
So I don't do any work for him, but I kind of bully him into doing his work.
Yeah.
Which I think he needs.
Which is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to bully your significant other.
keep him in check.
Yes.
You work 2 jobs, you have your own struggle, you've been in therapy, and yet you had to take this on to yourself. How do you survive it? Like, for yourself individually, how did you survive it? Or something that kept you going on. Not even your relationship, but you personally, like through everything. How did you manage all of this? Sorry, so many questions, but
I don't know. Honestly.
Superwoman. I'm just Superwoman. I can do anything.
I've got a kick-ass medicine. Lexapro carries me.
Hey, no sponsorships. No
sponsorships for Lexapro or anything, but Lexapro, 30 milligrams. Hydroxyzine for anxiety.
I'm gonna take this tip. Maybe it'll help me too.
I have like clinical depression, and
I do too.
I'm diagnosed with that and anxiety, and my therapist was like, yeah, you definitely have body dysmorphia too. So I carry all that, and I'm like, yeah, I could put in the work, but I could also take medicine and not have to worry as hard about it. So the medicine has helped a lot. It totally altered the way I process things. Like, I can get out in the morning a lot easier. I have more of a drive. I get excited about things, which is really weird. Like, for the longest time, even at the beginning of our relationship, I would not get excited about things. I'd just be like, oh, yeah, we're doing that. Okay, let's go. But since I've switched my medicine, it's like insane. I actually think about things and I'm like, oh, can't wait to go do that.
And Japanese gardens and stuff like that.
Yeah, oh my god. I love just spending time outdoors now, and before I just liked just sitting in my bed and sleeping all day. That was all I wanted. And I still have days like that, and I'm going through massive burnout right now because I do work every freaking day. But moving is the light at the end of the tunnel because I'm leaving one job. But I'll have that, and then I'll have a new place to live. So I'll be able to decorate and organize and just feel like I'm putting my life back together. And then once I move, no second job, work only 2 days a week unless somebody needs coverage, and then no summer school. And this will be the first time I haven't done summer school in years. So I'm just so excited. I'm gonna get to read. I'm gonna get to hang out with Chris. I'm gonna get to decorate. Yeah, I'll get to decorate my room, go on walks, visit new places, go on little day trips. Like, I'm so excited. I have not had a true summer in years.
Just to follow up on your answer, Sydney, on the last question, from what I can get together and phrase it perfectly, would be the way you went through the process is one, took medicine as a mediate to help you go through the process in a more calm way. Mm-hmm. But you were also focusing on the future goals. I think you had something to look forward for, is what I understood. I think you and Chris just, in a perfect place eventually after all. I feel like you took this as a rough spot, a rough phase. You knew that it's going to be over. You looked at the future. You had your new house coming up. You had Chris and you being in a healthier position. You had everything to look forward for. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've kind of picked up from what you said. Mm-hmm. In the previous episode, we discussed with Sophie more about medicine, how this is one thing that people really forget to do, is forget about, is that medicine is just a mediate to help you go through the process. It's not a solution. A lot of us just take medicine as the initial, the final solution. I'm gonna take medicine, I'm not gonna work on myself, I'm not gonna do anything, the medicine's just gonna do the work for me. And I think that mentality is terrible, and again, I admire you for not taking that mentality on yourself. I know that you actually just took the healthy way and worked through one of, I think, the most challenging phases that a relationship can go through, in my opinion. Because, again, I didn't survive through it. Yeah, I wouldn't lie. And that's a question to both of you individually, because I'm sure you have a different opinion. Do you think that over-communication is a negative thing as a means to deal with an issue? What I mean by that is, in many relationships, usually the biggest problem is the under-communication, and when couples just don't talk to each other enough, they don't express themselves to each other enough, and there's a lot of misunderstandings that come up because of that. But there's also cases where a partner or both partners talk way too much, they over-communicate, they say almost too much for the second person to handle. I don't know if that's happened to you guys personally, but putting yourself in those shoes, do you think that that's a negative thing? Do you think that if, say, Chris started opening up to you about everything, do you think that would be overwhelming for you? Or vice versa?
No. I don't really keep much away from you, though.
No. Sometimes I wish you'd talk more, but that's usually
there's not much to talk about because I already told you everything.
If anything, I'd be happy if he just talked and talked and talked, because then I could just listen and not really have to worry about saying anything back.
But sometimes you also say that I talk too much about my stuff. You also have that problem. Sometimes I talk about stuff that I'm thinking about, and you say that I don't give you a chance to talk sometimes.
Sometimes that is true.
Yeah. So it
depends on the day. Sometimes I really want to talk about stuff and I'll try to interject and Chris will be like, yeah.
Because I have something stuck on the tip of my tongue that I have to spit out, and she has the same thing. So
you don't think it's a negative thing? You both think it would just be better. If anything, it's just going to be a good thing, is what I understood.
Good and bad thing, I think. Just in the middle. Depends on the day. Okay,
well, that question sums up.
Down. Give him to me. He was distracting me.
Well, that probably sums up our discussion for today. I will be discussing more in the next episodes, of course, and definitely watch those two because I think you guys would be interested in them. But something that I've been trying to take along throughout the season is an unexpected moment where I informed you about the previous questions, but now I want to do a sort of rapid round of questions that you have no idea. And I want you guys to say the first answer that comes to your head. Obviously, for couples, it was hard to have questions, but as fast as you can. And both of you can scream at the same time. So, are you guys ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Who's a better listener?
Me.
Who expresses themselves more?
Me.
Who initiates fights more? Who cracks first after a fight? Who says sorry first?
You.
I feel better.
Who's more supportive?
Me.
Tick tock, tick. Would you rather struggle alone or struggle together?
Together.
Alone.
Would you rather stay where you are together or move to another city together?
Another city eventually.
Well, we want to live wherever. everywhere.
Yeah,
Would you rather go back in time of your relationship or travel to the unknown future?
unknown.
Would you prefer to get away with lying to your partner every time or always know when they're lying to you?
Always when they're lying. to me.
Yeah, same.
'Cause
I would be lying.
Would you prefer to never watch a movie again or watch a movie of your partner's choice on repeat for the rest of your life? Never watch it or watch their movie for the rest of your life?
Star Wars.
That is what I came up with this question because I was like, if Sydney said yes, I'm like, we're done there. But okay, describe each other in 3 words.
Yeah, come on.
Thick, sweet,
I think I'm
Romantic.
pretty sour.
thick,
Very romantic. And
thick, tough, thick.
level-headed.
Wow.
Level-headed me.
Describe them in 3 words.
Smart, good looking. What?
Nothing, go ahead. Your time's running.
And oh my god, I'm looking for a word. Solving. I know that's 2 words, but
Solution-oriented.
that's 2 words too.
It's fine, you can be level-headed. That's not the point.
Yeah. Yeah. Problem solving.
Problem solving. So even right too. Okay, so I think time-wise that was terrible, but we got through it. And final question of it all: what is one advice that you want people to take from you as they leave this video? One piece of advice that both of you can give, like connected to mental health, obviously.
It's okay to take a break from your significant other, and not in a let's take a break. Like literally, I mean just like walk away for a second, say you love each other, and then reconvene.
That's perfect. I like
Because
that.
sometimes if you're just sitting there staring at them, you're only going to get angrier or more upset, and you're only going to feel more trapped in the situation. And the only way you're going to get yourself out of that situation is giving each other space. But some people don't want to give each other space because they think that if they walk away, they're going to break up or blah, 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 blah. No.
I think my advice is simpler. Just be patient with each other. Because you have to be patient, and then you figure it out somehow. There's always a way to figure it out.
I love that. I love it. I love what you said. And thank you so much for doing this with me. This was so much fun. I'm so happy we did this, and I hope we get a chance to do it again. That sums up the video for now.